Hello, and thank you for joining me. This is Taliesin McKnight. Now, what is the power of magic? What is the force used in magic? This is talked about in many different systems of magic throughout the world. It is talked about in many different systems throughout the world. In the Wiccan religion, Raymond Buckland talks about how the power in magic is the aura. You have the cone of power in Wicca, that you will raise energy and then release it. You will raise energy and release it. This is what you do in Wicca. In ceremonial magic, you also have the idea of raising and releasing energy. You have the same concept in voodoo. I'm talking about the idea of a force or a spiritual power that is the ability, that has the power of creation, that is used in virtually every different system of magic throughout the world. Eliphas Levi, or Eliphas Levi, talked about the great magical agent, which he called the Astral Light. Eliphas Levi used the symbol of Baphomet to represent this magical agent. He wrote Transcendental Magic, Ritual and Dogma. What is this great magical agent? He talked about how the great magical agent, or astral light, was synonymous with what Hermes Trismegistus called the telesma, which is a power that animates all life and emanates from the sun. Eliphas Levi, once again, talking about his great magical agent, the astral light, said that it is diffused throughout infinity. It is omnipresent, omnipotent, and timeless. It is all-pervading essence and all-knowing. Thus, this sounds a lot very similar to, being timeless and infinite. Now, in the Holy Qabalah, you also have the idea of a system of chakras or sephirot throughout the body, and the balancing of the two polarities of this power. Now, the life force is called, in China, it's called Qi. In Japan, they call this power Ki. In the Hawaiian Islands, it's called Mana. It's called a similar thing within Polynesia. And the Kabbalists call it Ruach, so that the life force is connected to the breath. Life force or life energy. In most systems, the life force or life power has two opposing energy currents, two opposing powers. In India, they call this power latent in man prana, and in the system of yoga, they have two opposite currents of energy along the spinal column. These are called Ida and Pingala, and are represented by two serpents twined about the Sushumna, or central staff of the spinal column, which sounds very similar to the caduceus wand of Hermes, with the central staff and the two serpents twined about it. In the Holy Qabalah, you have the two opposing pillars on the Tree of Life, Yakin and Boaz, which are the two pillars of Freemasonry, and also the two pillars on King Solomon's porch. So you have the two opposing energy currents in the body. Remember, the Tree of Life represents not only the cosmos and the attributes of God, but also in the Holy Qabalah, the Tree of Life represents the human body. And the Sephirot, or the chakras, or the energy centers in the body. And the 22 paths are the pathways of the energy current throughout the body. So that in yoga, you have two opposing energy currents of life energy. In the Qabalah, you have the two pillars. Now, going back to the Qabalah, you have Ein Sof, or or Ein Sof, the infinite light. Now, in the human tree of the human body, the or Ein Sof is the light of the body that animates the energy centers. Is this the same life force? Would this mean that the astral light, the great magical agent, the Ashe, the life power, is the power latent in man? It is the electromagnetic energy. It is animal magnetism. In Wicca, they talk about raising energy and releasing it. And in different books on Wicca, they talk about how the power to create is the energies of the aura. It is the aura, the energy that we have, the ki, or the chi, or the life power, or the prana, or the mana, or dige, telesma, whatever you want to call this power that is latent in man, that is the energy of the body. Now, if you look at the ancient doctrines of the microcosm and the macrocosm, that there is a universal pattern, and that all things from the greater to the smaller follow this pattern, so that understanding the cosmos, you can look within the self, according to the Qabalah. That it fills all objects, both living and inanimate. The great magical agent is said to be diffused throughout infinity. In man, it is called animal magnetism. That if it is diffused throughout infinity, then this implies that the power of creation not only lies within our own life energy in the body, but that this same power is present throughout the cosmos. Thus, the true goal of the magician is not merely to channel the energies of the body, but to be able to channel the energies of the magical agent present throughout the cosmos. That if you could not just call on the prana within, but the prana of the cosmos, then in a sense you would have much more of an ability to create. Therefore, the Ashe of the universe, the magical agent of the universe, the prana of the cosmos itself, could be called on for magic. When Eliphas Levi talked about Baphomet, he said that this was a scarecrow to the uninitiated, to scare them from hidden knowledge. Baphomet, which has been associated with the Knights Templars and has been misused by Satanists to represent the devil, which is not its original meaning. Baphomet has two horns, a central torch. He has both breasts and a phallus, a penis. He has a penis and breasts. Now, the phallus and the breasts shows male and female. Baphomet is androgynous. He has masculine and feminine qualities. He has the Hermetic sign pointing up and one down. So this again shows a duality. You have two moons representing duality. So throughout the symbol of Baphomet, which he used to represent the magical agent, there is the idea of dualism. Dualism. The caduceus wand of Hermes. Aleph, which is the reconciler between the opposing forces of Mem and Shem. Now, if the Ashe, or the life force, is said to have two opposing currents of energy within, then this would mean that without, in the Ashe of the cosmos, so to speak, there is also a masculine and feminine, light and dark, hot and cold, that there are two opposing currents out there as well. Therefore, if you look at Wicca and its use of the aura in raising energy and release it, if you look at the Qabalah and its use, if you look at Eliphas Levi and his Astral Light, if you look at these different systems, then this means that the power of creation is in the life force, and that the life force has two currents of energy and exists not only in the body, the human body, but it exists out there in the cosmos as well. According to these doctrines, I'm not saying that this is a true, I'm not saying that there really is a life force. It hasn't been all that much proven by science. But, whether true or not, This is the doctrine that you find in many different systems of magic. So under magical theory, there is a power used. You don't hear about the great magical agent all that much in books. It is something that is somewhat more concealed.